Hey everyone, Pilot Wannabe here, and we're back on our arrival into KSFO, San Francisco, from KSEA in Seattle. And we're about 10 minutes or less than that from top of descent, and it seems the weather or the wind is not as we had intended. We were originally set up to come in on 10 left, but that would seem to not be the case, as the wind is from 280 at 6 knots. Well, it's not a lot, but I'd rather have a 6 knot headwind than a 6 knot tailwind. And so, what the heck? These things happened. We have to. Okay, top descent 8 minutes away. I was just looking for the bubble there, and I don't see it. Which is kind of weird. Does say 7 minutes. Ah, there it is. Okay. All right, good. So, yeah, let's go flight plan, menu, arrive, and let's go for 28 right, because I like it. Option 8. And we're going to stay with the, I guess that's Bodega. That's how I'm pronouncing it. I'm not sure what else it's supposed to be. Bodega 2 arrival. And MLBEC transition. That's what we had before. And then ILS 28 right, option 1. And we are going to do an Archie transition, because that will give us forever to get squared away. Yes, Archie transition. I like that. Yeah, it's interesting. After a while, you become pretty familiar with the various approaches and such. Okay, so let's go to format. Let's zoom in a little, see what we can expect, and step through it. Okay. Let's keep stepping, see what happens. Dumba, Gur, Archie, and then I guess at this point we turn around and come back. So we must have okay. So yeah, Archie's no link here. We'll remove that one. And then Archie, Gur, Dumba, and then we'll intercept the glide slope. This is really weird, because I'm expecting a right turn. Oh, I guess we're coming out like that, and then coming back in. This is really weird. Really weird. Like, what is with this line here extending out? Let's see if I can alright, let's leave that alone. It'll become evident once we're closer. Should be evident once we're much closer. And look at this, we have to do this over again. Flight plan. And we're already at 25,000, so big low, 23,000. So VNAV, big low. Just option 2, enter. 23,000. We like that. Enter, enter, enter. Enter. Now we got top of descent 4 minutes away. All right. And let's see. Been looking off my chart here for ILS 28 right, and we're going to have an inbound course of 284, and the localizer is 111.7. Okay, and that should be captured here in this information: flight plan, menu, next page, approach plan, course 284 and frequency 111.7. So we're going to set up the course right now because we can. Nope, wrong button. Press and hold. And zoom in a little bit. And dial it around until that gets to 284. So 28 left and 28 right seem to be the active runways. .3023 on the altimeter. So let's just turn off that second radio. Okay. I forgot what I had a thought and it just escaped me. Okay. So, oh yes, we have to wind down our altitude, and Archie is at 7,000 feet. So that's our initial approach fix. And let's see if I have the right chart for that here. Huh. It's the same chart. We're coming in here at IAF, initial approach fix, Archie, at exactly 7,000 feet. And then we will turn inbound, intercept the localizer, and come on in for our landing. So that is our plan. Now, any moment now, this vertical deviation line is going to start to come down, and we'll commence our descent. So, let's arm the VNAV now, because it's not armed. So Alt select at 7,000 is armed, and VNAV is armed. And we're good to go. And the weather is clearing up. Great. I was hoping to be able to see some stuff. And it looks like we shall. Or I shall. We shall. Okay. Also, let's get the passenger signs on. Get them seated as we commence this descent. Let's check our fuel prediction. Fuel, once we're overhead of KSFO, we should have 1,766 kilos for an endurance of an hour and 50 minutes. It's more than the 45 that I'd budgeted for. Alright, we're descending, so we're rolling off the power. And I think 20% torque will do us for the first half of the descent, and then we're going to have to bring it down to 10% after a while. Okay, so everything is good and smooth. Alright, so at 10,000 feet, when we get there, we're going to go on the fuel pumps, standby hydraulics and PTU. But at 18,000, we are going to go, well, we're descending now, and we're approaching transition altitude, and we're set to our constraint is 7,000, so we're more than fine to Bring it down now. So it's 3023. Alright, just go check my active sky. And it is 3023. And the winds are still 280 at 6 knots. So we'll be coming in over the bay, which will be for a more scenic approach. So here, this is all San Francisco Bay. And this is where the Golden Gate Bridge is, I guess, that narrow opening. And the airport is just over here on the southern side, southwestern side of the bay. It's a big body of water. I'm a little disappointed with the scenery. Everything is so brown. Now, I know it's winter and stuff, but now this is Northern California. You'd think there'd be a little bit more green, but what do I know? I complain about the scenery. Uh-oh, we're not descending fast enough. So IAS, pitch hold, let's get it down. The VNAV came off. I don't know why that is. It's like a dash system. This stuff works great, but not that great. You gotta keep an eye on it. Interesting. I'm sure that's some famous bridge down there. Okay, so that is the north end of San Francisco Bay. Don't know much about the geography, but I'm guessing like Oakland is going to be over here. Alright, let's get that nose down some more, and our speed's getting up. Let's back off to less than 10%. Alright, the vertical navigation is coming back in, and when it hits, we're going to pitch up, and that's going to help slow us down too. So we should be backing away from the barber pole. Okay. Maybe 20% torque just left too much power in. What is that? An aircraft carrier? Which one? I wonder. We'll be able to find out. What is that number? 69? I don't know. If it was 68, I would know that would be the Nimitz. What's it doing parked out there all by itself? Hardly seems fair. Alright, well, I think things are under control enough that I'm going to go to the right seat and see if we can't find out a little something. Still can't see that number clearly. What is going on? Too much speed, too much speed. That is strange. Why are we coming down so fast and hard? On profile. Alright, not so much we can do about that now. Anyway, and our chance is gone. Okay. So let's get our head back in the game. There's our airport. 28 right is right here. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So we're going to turn, go down, turn, come back. I really don't know what that extended line is doing there. Seems to make no sense at all. So anyway, we're going to go from here to Archie. at 7,000 feet and turn and come back. Actually, let's just go direct Archie from here. Sounds like a reasonable request that, or an order that we might get from ATC. Archie 24. Alright, so we're going direct to Archie now. And that should also give us room to turn around. Okay, I'm not 100%, but I think that that is the Bay Bridge. And there is the Golden Gate, painted in the proper color as well, which would make that Alcatraz. Pretty sure. Yeah, looks pretty pathetic. It looks like Alcatraz. The pyramid building, whose name I know not. And I guess that's Candlestick Park, unless it's got a new name. I think that was a military base. Looks like a military airfield. I guess that's Oakland. Alright, so we're coming up on 10,000 feet and we are going too slow. I was just about to say our head's not in the game. And we lost. Did we lose the autopilot? We did. That was the sound. So let's get the autopilot. We'll just click it back on. We're not that far off. Actually, I should fly this manually. Alright. So off with the autopilot. Alright, and we need some more speed, like about 170 knots worth. And let's keep that nose down. Alright, so we got to do all that other pilot stuff. So 10,000 feet. Lights on. Bleeds to min. And pumps 1 and 2. Hydraulics and PTU can come on. Alright. Let's get a zoom in. So that's going to be my guidance. Okay. Alright, so now we're coming down. Have to fight it a little bit. It's like you have to push it over the top. And now we can get some power out. Now if I can be trusted to keep our speed under 200, I could probably let out 5 degrees of flaps. Okay. Okay, we're below the glide path right now. So let's get that nose back up temporarily. Let's get flaps 5 out. And it is out and pitching us up. So there. Now I think the secret to a good approach is always keep the aircraft under control and in trim. Okay. Alright, so we're between 180 and 200, which is perfect for flaps 5. And then when we intercept, we could drop the gear and go further. Alright, so things are pretty steady. Let me run the script. And it looks like flaps 1522. So option 2, flaps 15, GPWS to 15. Alright. Let's take a quick look around the flight deck, see if everything's cool. Lights are on. Bleeds are at min. Alright, let's go reduce noise profile landing, and let's go full on the props. Everything looks good. And top bleed is on, and we're at 850 RPM. Everything looks good. Except by the time we get to Archie, we may not have as much room as we'd hoped. But if we slow down and do a tight turn, we should be able to make it no problem. Alright, so let's bring this up. Let's arm the approach. Let's tune the approach. Alright. Let's look what this thing says. 111.7, which is correct. And the wind's pushing us that way. That's right. And if we were to go on the format, we should see runway 284 lined up thusly. Okay. Now we are off the vertical profile again. I think that's because I'm not paying attention, and also because it's not entirely constant. Okay, so we got a plane there, and we got a plane here. It's 500 feet below us, Piper Cherokee. I think in the future I'm going to turn off those red markers. We're going to see if we can catch that stuff with our own eyes by being vigilant. And by use of TCAS. Okay, speed's getting low. Let's put in some more power as we've leveled off. Or leveling off. Alright, at 172 we can go straight to 15, flaps 15. It's always drawing us a direct line to Archie, wherever we are. Present position. Okay. But that's not the glide slope. I mean the localizer. The localizer comes in like that. Alright, so we're getting above. Let's not try to do any jerky motions. Let's try to fly smooth. And speed's coming up. Let's back the power off. Alright, so we have to level off and fly at 7,000 feet. Hold our altitude. Basic piloting tells us how simple that is. Alright, we're supposed to be flying direct to Archie, so get a little closer. How far is it out now? It's 5 miles out. So when we cut that in half, we'll begin our turn. Alright, 500 feet to go. And we're supposed to stay at 7,000 feet and intercept the glide slope. Alright, we've gotten over 200 knots. Don't want to do that. Okay, let's trim this up so I can fly without pressure. Alright, backing off the power a little bit. A little bit more. Alright, there's 7,100 feet. So a little bit of back pressure. Let's keep us at 7,000 as we do a 30-degree turn. Which is like flying 101. Hold the bank, keep level. Shouldn't be that hard. Alright, need a little bit more power maybe, because we've lost our lift vector. We're at 69. It's still holding. And we're coming around. And let's go to nav source. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go nav, autopilot. Oh, what happened there? Let's take that off. Actually, you know what? So used to flying autopilot. Let's just manually bring it in. Alright. There we go. Bring it in gradually. And we're climbing, which is not so good. Alright, so now we are flying the Blue Needles. Alright. And let's see if this thing will fly straight for us. It is rather uncoordinated. We need to step on the left rudder. That's what a co-pilot's for. I think we need to step on it a little bit more. Alright, so we are on the glide path and the localizer. And we are going way fast again. So let's get that power out. Let's firm up and trim up. Get that power out. So if we would have flown the route, we would have flown the RNAV, well, we would have flown these routes here, and we would have intercepted the glide slope down here. We're at 5,700 feet, and we're on the glide slope already, so I suppose that's okay too. Except we're not very firmly on the localizer, and our speed is still up, but we've got lots of time to get it down. Alright, speed's coming back, and the handling of the aircraft is changing, trying to trim it out. So I can relax the pressure. And then that's going to change momentarily when we get below 172 and go to flaps 15. Alright, so I don't think I would have wanted to make those sounds killing us. Got a ways to go. Alright, so gear down, and now we're at flaps 15. We're at our final flaps. And our speed is coming down. We're going to have to feed in a little bit of more power. I think we want to keep it around 140. Alright, we're high. To the left. Alright, so want to go down, bring out the power. So we'll bring out a little bit more power. We'll keep it at 10 or thereabouts. We'll try to pitch for 140 as we correct our trajectory to the right and down. So the speed's in the high 130s, which is okay. We're getting further off course because we're not paying attention. like we're higher than we should be. Alright, so vertically we're good. Let's give it a little bit more power. That should help us maintain that. So we keep our pitch constant. And now we're on the localizer. Now we just need to point toward the runway, which we can't see, but it should be straight ahead, 12 o'clock. And I think we have it now. So we're 28 right. Alright. So our speed is where we want it to be. Our altitude is where we want it to be. And we are ever so slightly, 1/10 of a nautical mile to the right of our localized path. Lateral performance. Alright. So, like I say, when you get the aircraft trimmed properly, it's a joy to fly. So I just tried to relieving some of that pressure I had in. And the nose started to drop. Okay, getting better at trimming out these issues. Alright, I think we're going to need more than 500 feet per minute. Maybe about 6 or 7. Okay. Time to focus. Alright. So, gear down, 3 greens, fuel pumps, standby hydraulics and PTU, landing lights, final flaps at 15. We're doing good. It's a crosswind blowing us away. So we're going to have to set up for that. A crab on that. Imagine if there's simultaneous runway operations, we'd be being blown into somebody else's path. Alright, let's try to focus on this. And we got above our glide path. Alright. So I think we've done our final landing checks. So now it's just stick and rudder, as they say. It's all coming in. Alright. Playing chicken with this trim. Meanwhile, we're getting more out of sorts. Alright, I'm liking where we're at. We're going to be caught up with the profile soon enough, and our speed has gotten up. Back it off ever so slightly. When the nose comes up, we will lose speed again. Speed will bleed off, I should say. All right. All right. This is it. Let's make a smooth landing. It's a nice long runway, so it shouldn't matter if we're high. But I would like to put it down on the touchdown markers, the 1,000-foot markers. Alright, so now we got 2 white over red. Let's bring the nose up. That should slow up our approach. And our speed is coming down. We're not worried about that because we're visual. But we are low visually. So let's put in back some more power. And our speed is good. Can't even see those touchdown markers. we come?
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
That was a nice soft landing. Okay, we're in idle reverse. And not this one, but the next turn off, we'll take that. Let's pump the brakes a little bit, get our speed down. Okay. That was one of the better approaches and landings I've made, I think. Oop. Lost focus there a little bit. Alright. We can cross this hold short line. And stop at this one before we cross 28 left. Alright, now let's take a look at that landing. Let's give it 130 seconds. Let's go to the tower view. Alright, I think it's looking good. Plane was under control, no excessive inputs. It floated on me there a little bit at the end. I picked the nose up and I should just let it keep on coming down. Alright. Very pleased with that approach and landing. You wouldn't necessarily know because I haven't published all the poor ones that I've done, but I think this will make it. Alright, so let's jump to the future, the present, so to speak. Let's get back in the flight deck, and let's see where we are. Well, let's clean up the aircraft first. Flaps up, control lock in, weather radar to standby, and I can fire up the APU, tie the main bus, landing lights off, taxi lights on, anti-collision to red. I think I've done that all correctly. Now we are at Delta at 28 left. So let me see if I can find the proper airport facility chart for us, and I have to go hunting for it. I didn't have it up, but I'm well organized on my charts. Alright, so this is us here. Alright, so there's 28 right, we landed, and we are at Delta. Who knew? Hotspot for accidents. So we're at Delta. So we're just going to cross Alpha, across Delta, cross Bravo, right on Alpha, and we're going to bring it into parking spot here on Concourse G. Alright, let's see if I can actually make that happen. Okay, parking brake off. Put in some power. Come on, cooperate. There we go. A little bit more power. So we're across. 2-8 left. Nobody's coming. Nobody's coming. That's good. And the first one should be Bravo. Is it Bravo? Yes, it's Bravo. And then we're going to take Alpha all the way around. Okay, picking up too much speed. Too much speed. That was strange. Maybe the time of day just changed. The sky got a little darker and everything changed thusly. Okay. So I don't know for Alaska Airlines here what the proper terminal that they hang out in. Should look that up for future flights. Okay. And we're going to make to the left here. And we're still on Alpha, which is good to know. Looks like Bravo 2, Bravo 3 goes to the right. Okay, I have no idea where to go exactly. I usually go all the way around back, but all those are for heavy aircraft. So let's go in here. Something a little lighter. All right. This looks pretty good here up on the left. Number 87 looks good to me. Give it a little bit more juice. Okay, that looks like our line here that we should be making for. Alright, let's take that light off. Looks like this is for very big jets as well. Alright, let's park it here. And, well, let's go to start and feather. Let's go APU on Gen. Nose wheel steering off. Radar off. Standby hydraulics and PTU off. And let's get those passenger signs off. And let's look outside, see how we did. I think we put her down pretty good. This is a big parking spot, not for us. Okay, so it feels like it's been about 30 seconds now. Seems a lot darker in here as well. Alright, so engine's powering down. Alright, let's take off all our ice protection. Standby pitot-static 1 and 2 are off. So the ice protection is off. Engine's off. Anti-collision can come off. Position lights can stay. Can actually put our logo light on. And engine ignition's off. Alright, I think we can open the door and release our passengers. Okay, so welcome to San Francisco, and thank you for joining me on this flight. Look, got some AI coming in. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me on this flight once again. KSEA to KSFO, and thanks again for watching. Pilot Wannabe saying good night.